If you're tired of following everyone else's strategies and trying to figure out the pain points and what's the transformation and still feeling like your messaging is meh, not really connecting, maybe you have some clients, maybe there's some traction there, yes. And also, it's not you. You feel like every time you show up to write a post, it feels like you're trying to box yourself in so that people understand what you do, right? Mercury is going to be your best friend. We're going to talk about your Mercury Gate today. And if you don't know me, I'm Rachael Weaver, and I am a human design and messaging expert. And I help spiritual entrepreneurs talk about what they do in a way that feels like them, so they can sell their service or their product or whatever they have to give to the world, their genius. We package it up in a beautiful bow so that it feels like you and makes you money. And if you're totally into human design, I have a custom report that tells you all about your human design and how to use it in your messaging. The link will be below, but let's get into this topic of Mercury Gate, because a lot of people talk about it, but to be honest, I feel like most people don't really know what it's about, or they give you kind of this vague sense of, yeah, just embody your Mercury Gate and that's what will make everything work. And they're missing the point. They're totally missing the point. I love depth. I love getting into nuances of things and really unpacking them and understanding them from a energetic standpoint, as well as the 3D world perspective of how does this affect our messaging? How does it affect client attraction in our businesses, right? And before I really understood what Mercury was, I have gate 12 in my Mercury on my conscious side. And I was trying to do what everyone, like the copywriting industry, tells you to do, is pack all this stuff in. They got to have all the information, right? All the FAQs and the reasons why and who this is for and all this stuff I was trying to convey, right? And gate 12 is actually about caution. It's about understanding exactly what you're here to say and nothing more. It is so deeply intentional, and the timing has to be right. So anytime that I was trying to force is the red flag of gate 12. Force means that I am not in alignment with the energy of my own Mercury Gate. So when I was trying to force what I do into a message that would resonate with other people, it felt contrived. It felt forced. It felt horrible, to be honest. And when I understood what gate 12 was all about, in this intentionality and depth and really understanding that I had to be ready to talk about something, everything changed. And now, even my launches, everything is with intention. Everything is so deeply rooted in who I am when I show up. And I don't have to show up every time. That's the point with gate 12, is that it doesn't have to show up every time. If I'm trying to show up consistently in the way that everyone talks, like daily and sell daily and it actually forces. It brings back that force energy. And I have to, again, step back. It's more about sitting down each day, yes, creating this space. I may write a post, I may not. It depends on the energy. It depends on what I'm connecting to and what I'm feeling needs to come through. That's when the posts become crazy. When I write something that is just, it's like channeled, I don't even realize what I'm saying, and I post that's when it does so well. The engagement, even the offers that come from that space are so incredibly magnetic, and they look nothing like what everyone tells you an offer is supposed to look like. Why? Because it's sharing the soul of my message, right? Only I can say it in the way that I can say it, right? And same with you. Only you can say it in a certain way, and your people are waiting for you to show up with that energy. This is what I'm talking about with the Mercury Gate. So, okay, so let's get into it. Oftentimes we are overthinking our messaging because there's so much information coming at us, right? So-and-so says to talk about pain points. So-and-so says, just know your ideal client and you'll have everything nailed. That's all you need to know. You need to niche. You need to storytell. The information overload makes my head want to pop. right? How do I know what is truly meant for me? How do I know what is meant for the way that I am supposed to show up, right? And our human design gives us that blueprint of, you're a storyteller. You're gonna be talking about ideal client, right? If you have an open throat, I'm just gonna throw this in here. If you have an open or undefined throat, understanding who your ideal client is, paramount, right? Not as important, still important, but not as important when you have a defined throat, right? There are nuances to every single person, and this is what I freaking love about human design. It is not a one size fits all. There is not one way to do it. There is only your way to do it. And the more that you understand and unpack your human design, the more that you will understand yourself, your conditioning, where you're bringing in things from other people and thinking that that's the way it has to be, because it doesn't, right? I'm getting off track again. So, Mercury Gate. We all know it's the planet of communication, right? We know that Mercury's here to help us communicate better. But what the heck does that even mean when it comes to your messaging? And what I have found to be the best way to describe Mercury is that it's the energy you're showing up with. It's the behind the scenes energy, right? It's how you present to the world. It's not specifically your words that you're using, although it could be a word. It's more the energy behind, right? So like gate 12, you take that one again. The energy behind. If I'm forcing, that's the lower expression, the shadow of it, and I'm forcing my message out there, it's not going to land the same way as when I am intentional and connected and I'm almost channeling from my higher self out, right? And trusting the process. That is a very different energy that I'm coming with. And they result into very different results. One, no one listens and no one hears me and the content falls flat. And then I get mad because I spent time on content. Or over here, I get engagement and sales and excitement, and I feel like I didn't even do anything. I like wrote a little something and then put it out there, and it was great, right? Two very different avenues. So looking at your own Mercury Gate, and by the way, in the report, I talk about this and help you unpack what your Mercury Gate is. Looking at your own Mercury Gate, understanding what is the underlying energy of it. You could take Gate 35, for example. Gate 35 is all about storytelling. Are you sharing stories? Are you sharing your adventures? 35 is all about adventure seeking, right? So, are you going out and sharing stories of your adventures? And how does that feel in your body? How do you connect those adventures to your work, right? That's the energy we're coming with and showing up with. Then you can also, and this is what I like, I'm deep into AI, guys. I will full-heartedly sing its praises. It's amazing. It has changed 1,000% in the last 6 months. And I do really think that if you're not using it in some way, shape, or form, you might be left behind. Again, follow your own intuition into whether or not you want to utilize it, but it is incredible for helping you ideate and incredible at helping you unpack things that sometimes, especially undefined head najanas, can get really lost in, right? Several of my clients really get lost in all the details. They want to put all of it in, right? Like they just want to, what is the word I'm looking for? They just want to word vomit. There we go. They want to word vomit all of the things. They want to make sure everyone knows all the things. And while I understand that, right? We have to unpack and understand what is your truth within all of that, right? Finding that needle in the haystack and understanding what you are here to communicate about the work that you do. AI can help us do that. So when we go to chat and we ask chat, hey chat, like what do we do with gate 12? How does gate 12 influence my messaging? And it's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff of how you can use that gate in your messaging. Then you can even take it and go, I've written this post. Can you infuse more of gate 12 energy and essence into it? And it will weave in that energy. And it is mind-blowing, my friends, mind-blowing. And this is why I love how it takes some of the thinking out of it, right? Like that's what AI does. It takes a little bit of the It's the thinking, but it's not the critical thinking. It's not the critical thinking. I still have to be the human in charge, right? But it's taking some of that heavy lifting off my shoulders. So going back to number one, first understanding for yourself your own gate and understanding the lower expression, the high expression, and how that conditioning shows up for you. And then how would you, without asking AI first, but how would you want to bring that energy out and express that energy or use that energy in your own messaging? Then taking it to AI to help you kind of flesh out those ideas and be able to use it in your messaging. The amazing beauty of what happens when you do this is that this is your genius, right? This is how you are here to express yourself. It is your divine, it's your soul on the next level, right? And it's expressing itself through this energy, through this gate, right? So when you can put that into your messaging, you become more authentic. You become more of yourself. And I want to caveat this, that you don't have to know to be your authentic self, right? But I do think it helps understand yourself better. I know that that's what human design has done for me, is I feel like I understand myself from a whole other perspective that isn't based in my conditioning and how I grew up and how I used to think of myself as a child, right? It's giving me a whole new picture of what authentic to me really is. And I get to decide if that's true or not true or how I want to bring it out. But it is a tool to understand yourself and where you're holding yourself back. And gate 12, my Mercury gate, was so obvious in holding me back when I understood it, because I was forcing and trying to make people understand, and that is not the vibe. Instead, it's trusting the words that are coming out, allowing myself to be a channel, allowing myself to trust that everything that I say has purpose and meaning to the people that are meant to hear it. So I don't have to force anything. I don't have to over-explain. I don't have to make sure I hit every point, even though my brain wants to hit every point. I cannot tell you that after every single one of these YouTube videos, I'm like, shit, I forgot to talk about that. Shit, I forgot to talk about that. I could go back and re-record 1,000 times over and over and over and over, but I refuse to allow that perfectionism take away from what is being said right now in this moment. I know that when I hit record and end, I'm a one-take girl. Everything that is said has been said. That is the energy of gate 12. That is the genius of gate 12. So again, going back to your own Mercury, I would love to hear it too. By the way, like, drop a comment below of like, my Mercury is X, and share a little bit about what you do. And I want to hear how does it resonate with you? What shifts in you? Where do you see the shadow of it? And where do you see the higher expression of it coming through in your own life? And then how would you want to use that in your messaging? That's it. So tell me all the things Mercury down below. I'd love to hear. And if you know another spiritual entrepreneur that loves human design as much as you do, pass this video on. I would love it. And you know the thing, hit subscribe if you haven't. I'm here. I'm going to be dropping a video every week now for the foreseeable future. So let's do this, guys. Let's open up the conversation around human design and messaging and expressing yourself and being your authentic self. That's what I love to talk about. So have a great week.